So you remember a few weeks ago when I said I don't have any kind of horror story from hell of a Lyft or Uber driver, and you had talked about your Uber pool or Lyft pool thing.
Right.
Yeah, that has changed.
Oh?
That changed within 7 days of recording, and oh my God. So I went out to Ohio to visit the stream team, in which that was an amazing experience, and I can't wait to do it again, and we're trying to figure out how we can get them over to Utah once I do the move. But upon getting there, I had to take a Lyft from the airport to the hotel, and first off, I landed at 9 o'clock at night on a Friday, fully expecting there to be a ton of people out doing lifting and Ubering. Apparently not the case in Cleveland. So it took a little bit, like 15 minutes for somebody to even say, yes, I'll go ahead and pick this guy up. When they showed up, let me turn this off. Sorry, that was my mistake. When they showed up, they didn't have a front license plate. So I saw the car, but a car is a dime a dozen. And I'm like, okay. And then there's another person in the car. And I said, did I do an Uber or a Lyft pool? And I did not. This was just a friend. And so the other side of me is like, well, maybe the Lyft driver just doesn't feel safe and wants to have a friend as a ride along just for a safety aspect of it. Fine. Totally fine. And I also realized because of COVID, they're not getting out of the car anymore to help you with your bags. Again, totally fine. But she was in an SUV, and the hydraulics for the trunk did not work, and it's a heavy trunk. And then when I went to open it up, cigarette smell everywhere. Cigarettes everywhere. Every cigarette in the world was being smoked in there and had just stopped smoking. And it just wafted over me. Now, look, I'm an ex-smoker. I'm a vapor now, but I mean, in a way, I'm a hypocrite, but I'm not, because I cannot stand cigarette smells anymore. Like cigarette smells, cigar smells, even the sweet smell of like old man pipes kind of gives me a stomach curdle, if you will. But this was just a hot box of cigarette smells. So that's
great.
That's strike 2, okay? And then strike 3 was when we're going, she was talking about getting the vaccine and COVID and stuff like that. And her friend said she wanted to get the vaccine. Oh, she thought I was a doctor. So, not bad. I'll give her that.
Why?
I have no idea why. She said, you seem to me like you're a doctor. I'm like, well, thank you, but I'm not.
Let me check my schooling real quick.
Nope.
Hold on. Let me double check. No, still no. Nope.
And so we're talking about, the vaccine. Her friend's all for it, and it's just a matter of getting her signed up for it. I think there's a lot of miscommunication and misinformation out there on how to get signed up for the vaccine. Because when I said, all you have to do is go to the website, she said, well, how much is it? It's free. Well, nothing is free. Well, no, of course, nothing is free. But in regards to monetary exchange, this is free. Like, it's not coming out of taxes.
Through your taxes.
Yeah, it's
like
coming
through your taxes.
It's through your taxes, but it's not like an upfront cost, and you don't have to pay it after the fact or anything like that. Just go get it done. And the driver in this said, well, I've got the best cure for everything, and that is Lord Jesus Christ and God his Father, or something to that effect. I'm not ragging on religion at all. It is not.
Right.
It is not for me. But when she had said that to someone as in my faith of atheism, I was like, okay. And I can't be mean to this person because she's driving me in like a 2-ton truck down the freeway, barreling through. She got lost a couple of times, which this is your town. How are you getting lost? So I just kind of like, okay, I did one of those, just affirming. All right.
Yeah.
And then she said, yeah, my son doesn't believe in God, and I feel like I want to wring his neck. I'm like, oh no. And then she looks at me in the mirror and said, you believe in God, don't you? And I was like, actually, no. Because I'm not going to lie. Not gonna lie.
I wow.
Yeah. And she
You
said,
went all in.
"Oh no!" I'm like, "Yeah, like, look, like, I'm not one to tell you that God doesn't exist or whatever. You know, I respect your beliefs. I hope you respect mine, and I think
There you go.
there's room for everybody to believe in what they want to believe, as long as it's not hurting anybody." And she said,
that's a good way of handling it.
Yeah, and she said, "Have you ever been to church or anything?" Well, I grew up for at least 3 years in a Catholic school. So I went to church at the school. I learned religion at the school, and I was of an age where it was very impressionable upon me, and I did believe. I did believe in the whole religion and all that. And she said, "Well, because you believed in it, that means you're saved forever. Even though you don't believe in it now, you were saved forever." And I was like, you know what? That's great. I am very happy with that. And so if I need to ever bring that up to somebody who says I'm going to hell, I'm like, actually, there's this one Lyft driver who stinks of cigarettes, not the good kind. She said I'm saved. But it was just so bad, you know. And I even had my mask on, and even after I left, because my mask has like the replaceable filters, the smell.
You just had to throw a whole thing away.
Well, luckily the smell of the cigarette just got into the filter, not on the mask itself. So I replaced the filter, and I was fine. Hotel was great. Do you remember Larry Brazil from our job? African American guy. He and I did the podcast for our work for a little bit. We did some videos.
I think so.
Yeah. So I ran into him. Well, not ran into. I went to go visit him without telling him. I do that. And and he has his own like esport lounge and stuff. It's crazy. It's insane.
Wow.
I'm very, very, very proud of him. One Life to Play. If you're ever in the Cleveland area, ladies and gentlemen, go check it out. It's great for kids of all ages. It's a safe place to go. And it's very affordable. Very, very affordable. They have a team locker room with freaking showers and stuff. It's great. It's great. Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's very, very impressive. But that's not the end of the Lyft drives.
Oh, we're not done.
No, we're not done. Because I still had to get back to the airport on Monday. So, again, thinking Monday, tons of drivers will be out. Not only were there a ton of drivers out and about, but I got passed off. Like I said, Kate's going to drive you. Actually, no, never mind. Jonathan's going to drive you. Oh, never mind. We found another person that was going to drive you. It happened like 4 times. And what it was like, I was looking at the map, and it was all these drivers that were like on the outskirts, a little bit closer, and a little bit closer. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But I just never seen that before. So I finally got paired up with this one guy. And by the looks of his avatar, young guy, right? Young guy. And so, he pulls up, and first off, because of COVID, you're supposed to keep your car clean. The first car, obviously not clean because of cigarette smoke and whatnot.
Right.
This guy, did I mention like kid, like just 20 years old, maybe 21, 22 at the latest, like not clean at all. He's got like not boxers, but he's got like gym shorts in the seat next to me. The big red flag, no seatbelt. None. Like no seatbelt. And
like him or
me. Like he's got a seatbelt, no seatbelt for me. There's a seatbelt.
What? Like they took it out of the car?
I couldn't find it. Like, you know how sometimes the seatbelt is like hidden behind, like underneath the seat, and you just gotta rummage around and pull it out and you're good. No, like no seatbelt at all. And so I was like, okay, well, I don't really have the ability. I mean, I guess I could. I could have said, hey, can you help me find the seatbelt? I guess I could have taken that step. I didn't. I just, fine, whatever.
Do you know what kind of car? Do you know what kind of car it was?
I mean, it was another SUV. I don't remember what it was. I mean, I have it in my
you should look it up
receipts.
And see if this is like a common thing with that car of like people saying like this is weird,
or
if it should be fairly obvious.
So like in a hatchback where like the back seats can come down, the seatbelt holder usually is kind of hovering, and you put the seatbelt through the holder. So the holder was there, the seatbelt just wasn't there.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you look further beyond that? Because that's where mine are. They're kind of like almost in the trunk.
Yeah, so I looked in the trunk. I like peered over into the trunk and nothing. So there's that.
Yeah, I'd say look it up and see if like you were crazy and like weren't looking in the right spot, or if there's something to bring up of like, hey, so he modded his vehicle and I was gonna die.
So I'll get to that too in regards to reporting.
We're not done.
We're not done with that. And then the bigger glaring thing was he almost hit a pedestrian.
Oh
yeah. So we're making a left turn onto a perpendicular street, right? And he lets the oncoming cars pass him so he can make that left turn. What he doesn't do is let the pedestrians in the pedestrian crosswalk also pass. He just lets the cars pass, and there's somebody in the crosswalk already there, and he proceeds to make a left turn. The guy in the crosswalk is like, hey, what are you doing? And my driver's like, well, why are you still walking, bro? I'm like, he was already there. Like, oh my God.
Why are you still walking? I mean, you're going to end that.
Oh my God. Look, I already have a bad ticker. I don't need this additional stress for no reason. And so
Jeez.
it was terrible. And like, you know, you and I have been in a Lyft together, and I feel like you're a lot more approachable in the Lyft. Like, I usually try to be more like, hey, how's it going? And then I'm just going to do my thing. You like to try and carry on a conversation, if possible, just to show the person that, hey, I realize you're human and you're not just some sort of robot that I've ordered to come here. You're not my servant. Let's have a conversation, see what your day's been like, you know? How can I make it better for you? And so I appreciate that when I'm with you. And so I try to do that to a certain degree as well, too. I tried that with Miss Cigarette Smoke Lady, and you saw where that got me. So I tried it with this younger individual, and he just wasn't having it. He's just like, no, I don't want to talk to this person. And I don't care about star ratings or anything like that. But I didn't want to push any kind of like potential reporting of this guy was badgering me and I was trying to pay attention in traffic or yada, yada, yada. So I just didn't want to deal with that. So I just shut up and got to the airport. No problem. I did report him, and I also did report the first person. When Lyft got back to me, they said, we deeply apologize. Obviously, the safety for you is of utmost importance. In the future, just so you know, if you ever do feel unsafe, you can let your Lyft driver know to let you out. And it was one of those, like, I don't know if humbling's the word, but it was a good reminder to be like, all right, fine. You know what? Even though I'm probably going to be left out on the side of the road in an area of Cleveland I'm not quite sure about, it's possible that I would have been safer there than in the car with this guy.
Right.
But they wanted to know a little bit more about the whole pedestrian kind of thing. So I gave my report on that, and they gave me a $5 credit. Hold on.
After everything.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold
we're not
on.
done.
$5 credit that can be used in the next 30 days.
Oh my gosh.
So, Quinnton, when's the next time I'm going to use a Lyft? Like realistically. Realistically, when's the next time I'm going to use a Lyft?
Just take a Lyft like one block.
I feel like I should. I feel like I should just say, like, I just need to go to McDonald's right over there. Like, I literally could throw a stone over to McDonald's, but I'm going to get my $5 worth. We're going through the freaking drive-in or drive-thru.
Hey, and you know what? You could probably use like $3 of those to do the Lyft and then $2 as the tip.
Oh my God, that's just be so terrible. So I got $5 credit for the guy, and then for the lady, cigarette lady, I specifically told the customer service person, hey, I'm not looking for credits, but I just want to let you know I don't see another ticket open for this lady, and I really do want to report her because the cigarette smoke is a thing. Like, I could deal with the religious stuff. I'm fine with that, whatever. I mean, she thought I was a doctor, so she gets a little bit of brownie points there. But the cigarette smoke just is not excusable at all. Freaking all. Not at all. And so I said, again, not looking for credits. Please let me know what I can do, just to reporter. I said, look, I know you guys vet your employees or whatever you call them now. I think in California they're employees. I don't know what they are in other states.
Right.
But you're at least vet your drivers initially, but you need to have follow-up vetting. And I know that's like almost impossible because of the way the infrastructure works for Lyft is that's not ingrained in the infrastructure for Lyft. Like it just, it's just more costly and this, that, and the other thing. But guess what happens? What happens is everybody shows up in a nice suit and tie for the first interview and like, yeah, you're good to go. And they rip it off and they got jean shorts and tattoos everywhere and a big like mohawk and devil horns and 666 everything. And it's like, oh no, these are the people representing Lyft. How would Lyft ever know unless people report them? So it's just one of those things. Like it's, I feel like it was a really bad experience to have 2 out of 2 drivers in the Cleveland area just be horrendous.
So what ended up happening with her? Did they do anything, or they thank you for the feedback?
It was another one of their very canned kind of responses. Like, well, again, we appreciate your insight into this person. We are definitely going to have a conversation with them, and we will keep it anonymous. I don't think they're going to have to worry about pointing fingers because again. She had multiple rides that night. Oh! That wasn't even her car. That was the weird thing. The weird thing was, I was gonna be late to pick you up because I got into an accident. Because I dropped somebody home, and when I backed out of their driveway, I hit something with my car. So I'm using another car that I have registered with Lyft.
What?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to die tonight, aren't I?
This is an adventure, man.
Yeah. And that was just the first night. I haven't even ran into Kurt or even, I didn't even have any alcohol yet. I just wanted to get to my hotel room so I can kick off my shoes and watch terrible terrestrial TV for a little bit before Kurt came by.
Well, who needs alcohol when you could just go on Lyft adventures?
Oh, my God. Well, I think Lyft adventures actually would be a lot more expensive. So
that's fair.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are my 2 drive times from hell. Can you top it?
No.
I know when Aurelia used to drive for Lyft, one of the stories was, somebody was about to vomit in her back seat, and she's like, nope, you're getting out. Like, I'm sorry, but you're getting out. And a few other stories that were like, oh, that sucks, but nothing compared to what I had to endure. Yeah.
I hope to never endure what you endured. When was the last time you made toast?
Like bread toast or toasted something?
Like just regular bread toast.
Well, it's been a while for regular bread toast, but the last time I made a toasted bagel actually was in Cleveland. It was part of the continental breakfast. Guys,
when was the last
that name
time
is a misnomer. It sucks. Don't get the
When was the last time you
breakfast.
made peanut butter toast?
Peanut butter toast. So like toast with peanut butter on it?
Yeah.
It's been years. I feel it's been years.
Okay. When you do make it though, describe to me the steps. Like, and I'm not looking for that thing that we did all in school where it's like describe everything in intricate detail. So if I was a person who didn't know what to do, I'd be able to do it. No. Just give me like the absolute basics of just like, okay, you've toasted the bread, then.
Okay, so bread is toasted.
Yeah.
Grab peanut butter that's not in the refrigerator, and then take knife and then spread on bread, and then jelly or Nutella and spread on top of that, and then and then start to eat while it's still nice and warm.
Okay.
Yeah. Why?
So why do you not put butter before the peanut butter?
Oh, I don't like butter on my toast.
What?
Yeah, no, like the taste, like there are some toasts, when you go to restaurants and they give you toasted bread and then then they also give you like some warm butter. There are some restaurants, they tend to be the like more upper echelon restaurants where that tastes really good. And also, I'm probably very hungry, so I'll eat almost anything you put in front of me. We have butter here at the house, so I could feasibly do that just as easy. But all my life, I've either eaten peanut butter toast, as you coined it as, or just toast with jelly, or just toast. My mother was not a huge proponent with butter. So whenever she would cook and required butter, she would use like a little bit of margarine. And I didn't know any better. Obviously butter tastes better, but I that wasn't inherent to my taste buds. So when you add butter, like buttered popcorn, I cannot stand it. I just can't, because that was not part of my palate. Yeah, I do not like buttered popcorn. Lightly salted popcorn, yes, I am game for that. Kettle corn, also game for that. But buttered popcorn and buttered toast, like those are secondary experiences to me that I would only partake in if that is my only option.
Huh.
Yeah. But, so you put butter on first and then peanut butter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. A very, very thin layer of butter, and it makes the bread, like it's got that like crispiness or crunchiness or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. But then the layer with the peanut butter has this like soft, like, I don't know how to describe it. Soggy. That's a great positive word.
Oh, God. Hello, sir. Would you like some soggy toast? Oh, yes, please. That's exactly what I came here for.
No. Maybe you should try it, because I'd be curious if you would like it or not, with the butter being kind of more of a secondary thing.
Like, look, I'm older and wiser and dumber, but definitely a little bit more open to trying new cuisines.
Like creamies?
Like creamies? Like the creamies that I left at your house?
You bought them and never ate them.
Yeah. No, actually, no, you bought them. You bought them, and you're like, look what I got. Yep. I'm like, yay, I'm finally going to be able to try creamies. Okay, bye.
Okay, I got to go. I'm going home. Okay, bye.
That was such a disheartening, like, realization. You're like, but you didn't try the thing that we've talked about for, like, 2 years.
I'm running past airport security and stuff, just holding a single creamy.
Yeah.
Here, take it.
You're like that little boy in that one movie. Oh God, I can't even remember the movie. It's just like freaking parkours past all the security to go say goodbye to the girl that he likes.
Aw, that sounds very movie cliche.
Oh,
to be
it's
honest,
super movie cliche. Pre 9/11, because there is no freaking way he would have been able to get even a quarter.
He'd have, if he made it to the gate, he'd have a horde.
Chat, what's the name of that movie? It's a British movie. And like Liam Neeson's in it, and it's a Christmas movie.
Taken Christmas edition.
We'll just leave it at that.
Sorry, no, Taken Christmas special.
Just Christmas special, yeah, exactly. The holiday special.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely take it. I'll try it out. And actually, what we'll do, because I know what I'm trying to do is for our stuff for still recording, is really increase the engagement that we have with our viewers, not only here but on our social media channels. And I feel like there are certain things that you and I do. Like if you guys haven't seen, we did a reaction video to an Apex Legends trailer. And there's actually a new trailer that dropped today specifically for the Battle Pass. So I don't know, Quinnton, if you're up for doing that later, but we can react to that off air. But I think for this toast thing, I could go live on Instagram, and, that'd be kind of fun. We don't obviously, we don't really use Instagram Live for anything, but this would be one of those things where it's not really podcast worthy. It's not really vlog worthy, because it's only going to take 5 minutes to do, but it might be fun. So I think I'll do that. I can even include you. I can call you on Instagram Live, and you can go well, you can go live under your firewall account, and so we can do it on the Still Recording Instagram account, and let people know what I think, because I did go live when I tried Marmite for the first time.
I'm so sorry.
It's not as terrible as I was gonna.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Don't even.
To be. It's not for me. It's super salty. Super salty.
No way.
Super. Did I mention?
It's like salt paste. It's like salt paste.
Oh my gosh. Well, I had ordered 2 jars because I was drunk. My fiance's mother had a pool party, and she had uttered that she enjoyed Marmite. And I'm the kind of person that when I hear someone say, hey, I like this thing, and I have the discretion and disposable income to say, I'm just going to order it for them. Be nice. Be a nice surprise. So while I was drunk, I ordered these 2 jars of Marmite and then kind of forgot about them. And a few days later, they showed up at my doorstep. I'm like, why are these here? And I remembered, oh, okay. So I brought them over to Aurelia's mother's house, and this was when she was still here in town. And her mother said, have you ever tried this? I'm like, nope. Do you want to? Yes.
No.
Yes, I was up for it. Like, yeah, I want to try it in front of somebody who does enjoy it, and also somebody who's like a little bit indifferent to it, which would be her daughter. Her daughter, Aurelia's like, it's not my thing. But I'll go live. This is one of those things I want to capture for time immemorial. And if anybody else wants to partake in my
suffering,
yeah, you can watch me suffer. And so we'll do that. But I feel like there'll be less suffering involved with this one. So if you guys want, make sure you're following us on Instagram, Still Recording Podcast. And you'll get the notification when we go live. And so I will try that out. Now, should I melt the butter first, or is it okay if the butter is like room temperature?
Room temperature is the best.
Okay. So
you're just spreading it just like peanut butter.
A light spread of butter. You know what I'm going to do? And I want to be very scientific about it. I'm going to get 2 pieces of toast. One that's just butter. Just butter with the peanut butter, and then one with just peanut butter, the way that I would do it.
Oh, I like it.
And then I'm going to spin around and then grab one of them and then
because that won't be able to tell. You won't be able to tell. Sure.
We'll try. We'll see. I just hope that I don't like spin around with my eyes closed and grab like a knife or something. Like,
this obviously feels like a piece of bread.
This tastes like iron. I wonder why. I'll be right back, please.
Why is there a hole in the cheek of my mouth?
God, that's one of those things. There's like a phobia of that, but there's a phobia of like holes in people's skins.
A tryptophobia.
Yeah,
I think
something
it is.
like that. Yeah, I have that.
Yeah?
Yeah, bad.
Like close up pictures of people's pores and stuff like that.
Well, no, the pores I'm okay with, but I like it's one of those that's the ones that people superimpose like honeycomb holes in the cheek. Just from an artistic point of view, it's a cool thing to do. But I'm like, I get chills down. I'm getting chills down my spine thinking about it right now.
So let me ask you, have you played BioShock before?
Very, very briefly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a let me describe to you this. There's an animation in that game where each time you get a new power, you get a special animation for the new power.
Okay.
So like when you first get like fireball, I think it's like a fireball of some kind, your hand catches on fire, and your hand catches on the first animation you ever get is your hand catches on fire, it burns away the flesh and all the way down to the bone, and then your flesh like power, like you through these powers your flesh instantly like starts regrowing quickly and covers the hand back up while it's still on fire.
I'm okay with this.
when the ice one was when you got like ice abilities, your hand covered in ice and like looked frostbitten and like disgusting and like decrepit, and then like came back to life.
Okay.
There is another ability.
Oh God.
And it's a bee swarm.
A bee swarm.
A bee swarm.
Okay.
And so in this one, the first animation is you look at your hand and all of a sudden a bunch of boils appear on your hand, and then they rip and bees start crawling out of your hand in like just a ton of bees. And then your hand heals. Where's my browser? Let me see if I can find it real fast for you. You can give us a live on podcast reacts.
Oh God. All right, guys. So Quinnton has shared a video with me because I have a slight phobia of like holes in skin.
Full screen that thing.
I'm gonna full screen it, but I'm just letting everybody know.
Okay.
This is the deal. And we're gonna get a live reaction. I've never seen this video. I don't remember this happening in the game. So we'll see how it all goes. Let's full screen this baby. Okay, he's injected himself. There goes his skin. Oh. See, that's not that bad though. No, that doesn't bother me all that much, because the way that the animation looked, like some of the bees, like some of the bees came from behind his hand, like it was slightly behind his hand. I'm more talking about like just random holes in the hand. Like bees could be poking out like, hello, I'm inside your epidermis. Epidermis? Epidermis. I'm inside the epidermis. But they have to be like, I can see it. But if it's like right behind here and he's just flying out, then it doesn't really bother me.
Okay.
Yeah. But thank you for trying to give me nightmares. I appreciate that. It's always good content.
Well, I'm happy you're not. I'm happy you'll be able to play the game one day.
Do you have any other irrational phobias?
Not that I can think of. Like, I don't like the thought of dropping things on the chairlift. That can sometimes get in my head, and I'll like grip things tighter than I need to. But I wouldn't call that a phobia.
No, I just think that's like preservation.
The closest I've got for you is like if I have to interact in any way with like bugs or something. Like, you know, there's a spider in the house, but it's not just the spider. There's like a spider that's been here a while. I don't know. There's a spider in the house that, like, I've seen like 3 of them today or something like that. Or we are out and about and there's just a ton of gnats and bugs going everywhere. I don't know. It's hard to describe when it happens, but like I'll start feeling like there's bugs on me. Like the hairs on my body will touch my body and it will make me feel like that's a bug.
Yeah, that happens with me from time to time.
I hate it. You're just like, you want to rub your whole body down. You're like, no, nothing's on me.
Yeah.
No, stop.
No, like when I'm wearing shorts, that'll happen sometimes because, you know, a lot of hair on my legs, and they'll just go like, hello, and I go, ah, and I'll slap my leg or something, but there'll be nothing there. And
right.
I'm like, oh, that's okay. That was weird. And then it'll happen again. So I'm like, okay, well, then clearly there is something there. But again, it's just, you know, my follicles just doing the follicle thing. So
right.
Yeah.
No, the fun thing is if it happens and you happen to be looking right at that spot and you can see that spot and you're like, I can clearly see there's nothing there. But my brain is still saying there's something there, but I can clearly see there's nothing. I better.
Yeah. No, the other time like something like that will happen is if I ever put on a shirt that has a strand of hair like right here. Like sometimes that happens with me where because this has been in the washer dryer and that gets mixed up with my fiance's stuff. She has longer hair than I do. And so her strands of hair sometimes will get stuck and I'll put on a shirt and just go about my day. And then I'll feel this weird tickle and I'll just, what is that? What? And then, but
you don't like punch forward?
No, like that's the weird thing. Like my initial reaction is not to just like start swinging. My initial reaction is to look at it first. And the reason why is because when I was a kid, I started to pick up something that I thought was on my face and it was a bee. And it stung me right here.
No.
Yeah. So ever since then, instead of swatting things, because my mother said, well, if you swatted him, he might have come back around and stung you anyways. So my first initial, the first thing that I do is like look at assess the situation. Like let's figure out what it is. If it's something that is real, then we will deal with it. I don't have a fear of them, but if you put a lot of ants on me, like we're out at the picnic or something, and like ants are around me, I will then feel ants everywhere, and so it's that again, like I have to look at it like there's an ant, I'll get that. There's another ant. Oh, that's not an ant. That's just sand. Okay, I can ignore that, and yeah, but folks, never get stung in the face by a bee. It's not fun.
Oh, I during the summer, I had a wasp land on I think it was either my shirt or my shorts or something to that effect. And no, it was my leg. It was my calf. I remember that. Yeah. No, it was my calf. And it's sitting there on my calf. And I had to walk up to my friend and turn and be like, help me, please. Trying not to freak out because it's a freaking wasp.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm like, please help me.
Hi, what's up?
You could tell. I'm just I am not okay. I am not okay.
You're
but I feel
bullets.
Yeah. No, but it was afterwards we were talking. I was I feel like having an irrational fear of wasps is a rational fear of those little demons. You not wanting to be around those things is very rational and realistic because they are just the meanest creatures on the planet.
No, I mean because I know they're when we stayed at the hotel when we went to Reno this weekend for a friend's wedding, I chose the hotel specifically because my fiance's son had uttered to us, I want to stay in a real hotel, because previous to that, we stayed at this little boutique hotel when we had to evacuate for the fires. But the boutique hotel was, it was more like a motel kind of thing. It just wasn't what I thought. It wasn't his cup of tea. So I said, you know what? For this weekend, I'm going all out. We're staying at the GSR. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a beautiful view of Reno and all this other stuff. I didn't tell him this. I wanted to surprise him. Completely forgot. He has a fear of heights. Completely forgot.
Oh boy.
He will not do zip lining or anything like that. And he really, really, really wants to get over it.
Good for him.
What I applaud him was that when we got to the hotel room, it was on the 25th floor, and yes, beautiful vista. And I looked straight down and said, "Look at that! It's the pool. It's a big, ginormous f-off pool." And check it out. That's where we're gonna swim later. That's awesome. Look at it. And he's like, "Nope, I'm staying in my bed." But then after his nerves cooled down, he went up to the window and looked. So he can overcome it. And I feel with enough coaching and enough reassurance that the vertigo thing can go away. It's just something that you have to just train yourself.
Right.
I don't know if you can train yourself not to be afraid or freaked out about the little, ticklies that you'll get every once in a while. Unfortunately, in my studio, I get them a lot because I'm in the garage, and what likes to live in the garage?
Bugs.
Yes.
So here's what we do with him is we just slap a pair of skis on him and push him down the Black Diamond.
Yeah, no,
you're afraid of heights. You're afraid of speed. You're afraid of any of that. Cool. Here's everything all at once.
Just get it over with. Hey, if you survive, you can survive anything.
Yeah, if you survive this, I mean, geez, man, like I didn't even do that well on this, but you got this.
Nice. There we go. Parenting 101 by Quinnton McKinnon.
This episode is powered by Pod Decks. Pod Decks are unique interview questions and episode starting prompts in the palm of your hand. So whether you're a new podcaster or existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience and have more meaningful conversations, you're going to want to check out Pod Decks. Now, if you want to get 10% off your order right now, you can go to poddecks.com and type in coupon code. What's the code?
Still recording.
Yes, that's the code. Check out poddecks.com. Take your podcast to the next level.
All right, folks, I think we got enough time for one question from the pod deck. As the ad states, the pod decks are essentially a deck of cards. This is the interview deck in which that you can start conversations with a really cool and interesting icebreaker. Not only can you get the physical cards, but you can also download the app. And they update the app quite frequently with new questions. And right now, if you download the app and subscribe, you're entered to win some podcast gear, including a new Shure mic, Shure headphones, and a bunch of other things. So go to poddecks.com and use offer code STILLRECORDING for your 10% off your first purchase. So, Quinnton, here's a question. When you think about success, who comes to mind and why?
Oh, I have a buddy that was in the military, and he served in, I think, either Iraq or Afghanistan or possibly both, and he was very young. He basically retired at early 30s.
Oh, okay.
And owns his own business, which I think is like a lock picking business, like a locksmith.
Yep.
Yeah. But he's what is it, semi-retired or whatever. He doesn't have to do anything. He just does it. Yeah, I think that's the very first thing that comes to mind is just someone who sacrificed a lot to make it so they don't have to work anymore. And it's one of those people where it's like you could work hard, and it's like, okay, that's next level work hard, and I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested because when he served, he was a front linesman, man.
Oh, so infantry.
He was like, I'm not gonna repeat some of the stories he's told me, but
sure.
Some of the stories he can't play Battlefield.
Too realistic.
Because it's too much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, nope. You thank you for your service.
Yeah, exactly.
And if someone says, well, you could do it too, I will scream at them. I have no interest in having those kind of things and experiences and whatever you want to call them. Nope. But I've always got to applaud him of being able to buy a house at 30.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's who would come up with. What about you?
Yeah, if you had asked me this question even a few weeks ago, I probably would have went with the quintessential answer of Elon Musk, because he started with PayPal with his brother, and all the hardships of creating a .com back in the late 90s, and basically sleeping and working in a 1-bedroom apartment to where he is now.
Right.
That is a great example of financial success. Another example that I came about more recently is a gentleman by the name of Lauren, who owns a company called Polymer 80. they effectively make polymer shells for guns, which you could feasibly call them ghost guns. And I bring this up very gingerly because of the topic of ghost guns and all the things surrounding ghost guns. And by law, he has 5 patents for his shells, and they are not, by law, considered ghost guns, but it's very easy to just throw his product under that umbrella because it's just, from a layman's point of view, that's what they are. But from a legal standpoint, they're not. But he's been able to, and he's been able to kind of corner the market of his patents, of his designs, because the ATF and the current administration will have passed a law that will not allow any additional ghost gun or polymer-based platforms for guns to be designed and or made. Now, can people do this illegally? Sure, of course. But from hey, I have a storefront that sells, these kinds of guns, he's really the last of the Mohicans. He's the only one that can sell these. And ironically, when our president had said, that he's going to put a stop to these ghost guns, because he said that increased his
sales.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah. But it's also like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And honestly, I want a little bit more research on my end as to where I stand on what he makes. From a business acumen point of view, he's amazing. From a person point of view, he's also amazing. He has I think he said it's a judo dojo. He does martial arts. He's like a 4th degree black belt.
Heck yeah.
It was his daughter that got married this weekend. So, obviously the wedding was just amazing. He even made a joke. Thank you, Joe Biden, for paying for this wedding. But he came from this little town here in Northern California to where he's at right now. And, he's built a company from the ground up with something that really is very controversial here in the United States. But because he understands the law, because he, sticks with what he believes in with the U.S. Constitution and its amendments, that he's doing something that is not, that it's not wrong. It's not immoral. It's something that we're allowed to do. And he continuously reassures us that, anytime they hear about ghost gun violence, none of his designs have ever been used in those particular instances.
That's awesome.
Which is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that kind of success, he's one that I look to, because he's also one that I can get someone like my Aurelia's son to look up to him. He is Nicholas's godfather.
Oh, wow.
And the cool thing is, like, when Nicholas comes of age of needing a job or needing to learn, like, hey, let me explain to you why waking up at 6 a.m. is important. Or, hey, let me explain to you why a deadline is a deadline. Because I can tell that to Nicholas till I'm blue in the face. He's just not going to care,
Right.
But he has this mad respect for Lauren. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to leverage that. I'm not going to get butthurt over it. I'm going to take someone who's literally making millions of dollars in revenue. My version for my success version at a very much lower scale is I now get paid to play video games. That's success. That's awesome. And I do that with you. And that makes me super happy. But Nicholas is more of a entrepreneurial money, like, let me see how I can make the big bucks so I can go get that thing that I want. And
his definition of success is making a crap ton of money.
Right. And that's, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's everyone yourself. It's what's your personal definition.
Right. And yes, the concept and the conversation of making guns is not an easy conversation. That's not what we're having here. We're just from an entrepreneurial kind of point of view. Like, I really feel like he does embody success because it goes beyond just what he does business wise. He has a great family and a great community, and he and I definitely do not see eye to eye on a number of issues. And it's probably best that I don't follow him on Facebook. But as a person, I love him. And as an individual and a part of my life, that's been such a very strong person with Aurelia's life. He's great. So,
well, it's awesome.
Yeah. And let us know, guys. What do you guys think of success? Let us know in the comments below here on Twitch, on YouTube, but also you can always call us. We actually have a phone number on anchor.fm/stillrecording where you guys can call in and let us know your thoughts. But until the next time, Quinnton, where can people find you?
On Instagram and Xbox at Firewall.
You guys can find me in those places under Lazy Tech Tony. And as I mentioned just a minute ago, we are on Twitch. We do this live every other Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard, twitch.tv/LazyTechTony. And until the next time, you guys have a great one. Later.
Bye, guys.
Heart.